Hi, this is Rainbow Harmony here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And this is another pick a card reading for you guys. And this time, I just thought I would leave it open-ended in general. So whatever question you have, whatever part of your life is on your mind, whatever area you need guidance with, just go ahead and hold that in your mind right now. And start getting balanced, taking deep breaths, getting grounded. And what we're going to do here is we're going to use my new deck, the Green Witch Tarot, to help answer your question and to provide clarity. So I'm praying and intending that the people who need to hear this the most are led to this video, and that you are guided to pick the card that has the answer for you. I also have a clarifier underneath each card from my Wildwood Tarot deck in case I get a little stuck, because this is only one of my first times working with this deck. I have the guidebook and I'll be reading to you guys out of it a little bit. Usually I just kind of flow, but you know, there will be a little bit of reading in this reading. So let's do this, you guys. Those of you guys who picked number 1, we're going to get into it. But if you want to fast forward to your card, go below and check out the description and I'll put the timestamps. So if you pick the first card, here's the answer to your question. I just saw this card in the full moon reading, and I was just talking about it a lot. So it's cool to see it here with this card because I had a chance to peek at this ahead of time in the book. And the feeling I'm getting off of this card and what it says is you are getting to this place where you're starting to really own at life. Maybe it wasn't always like that, but you're starting to own at life. And so there's some really great things that are coming to you. It says you've overcome challenges, you've beat the odds, and you're learning how to trust more in your intuition and instinct. The Salmon card talks about instinct. It talks about just letting go and being open to the flow of life and where it wants to take you. So I feel like these cards are a good omen for you. It's kind of telling you, good job. If you had something that you're worried about, the answer for you here would be not to worry, that the situation is actually going to turn out a lot better than you think, that you're actually going to overcome these challenges. It's talking about your need to maintain your self-confidence. It's an omen for success. It says that you need to keep any problems under control methodically. So it's like the need to stay committed to, keeping your environment nice and clean, like in this picture, keeping things organized, taking the time for yourself, for self-care, and honoring and appreciating your divinity. And it also talks about how it's time for you to push in a direction for your own ideas. So you need to figure out, what your ideas are and what you want to express. Maybe you've been looking into the lives of others for inspiration, because that's what this card talks a lot about, is getting inspired. But this card's talking about how it's time for you to figure out what you want to put forth and create in your reality at this time, not swayed by anyone else or anyone else's opinions. It's also talking about, just face and manage issues as they appear. I'm getting the vibe that anyone who pulled this one is probably worried. And they're saying to take things day by day. Maybe you were looking for a different answer. Maybe you wanted an answer, concerning your love life. I feel like if you have a question about your love life and you pick this one, the message is that you can't always know. Sometimes if you knew, it would affect the outcome of the situation. Maybe you wouldn't make as intuitive choices as you would have if you actually knew this information. There's this light here saying that all will eventually be revealed in this situation, but you have this need to just create like a nurturing home and environment for yourself versus stressing out and worrying about a relationship at this time. And there's a couple more messages. It says that overall this card shows that you're able to overcome challenges or rivals in the area of career and creativity. So there may be some obstacles in the way of your success, and you need to stand up for yourself and for a principle. But they're saying that you're going to be fine, like you're going to be able to accomplish your work. this talks about the need to do things in your own way. Maybe you need to do things differently than the established procedure. Like walk your own path here. Invent your own way forward. Maybe there's a need for you to be a writer or a student of some sort, or perhaps teach. You might be called to some of these specific areas at this time. And yeah, the purple flowers here are a symbol of courage and resolve and overcoming difficulties and your self-confidence. So it's like you have an advantage. There's courage coming. So this is a really, really positive card and positive reading. So let me know what you guys think about this one. Okay. Now, if you picked the second one. The second. Endurance. When it comes to your work, I'm getting this impression that those of you guys who picked this one, you know, you have this long-term project going on. And there's still a lot of work to be done, though. So this is saying that there's no time really to stop and play. And, you know, at this time you have to stick with the job to see it through to completion before the rewards can be reaped. There's like a warning here about impatience and like taking shortcuts that aren't appropriate. It's saying decisions need to be made. You might need to change some things that aren't working out with your project, smooth out some rough edges. But overall, you know, there's this storm that was in the past, and you were able to, in your life, you know. I feel like we don't need to get into the storm. I feel like I point here, and you know instantly what it is that this represents for you. Everyone that I do readings for in real life, in person, usually seems to know exactly what I mean when I explain this card to them. The card kind of speaks for itself, but the storm here in your past, you were able to invent this way to move forward. And so here you are, you know, you're still working, and there's a project that's nearing completion. And as that happens, there's this tendency to want to rush to get the job done or to like abandon the job. And this is a card saying that like to hang in there because you're so close. You might be losing hope when it comes to this area of your life. Perhaps we're not talking about your career here, although I do feel like that's kind of a highlight. We could be talking about a relationship or your home life or your self improvement and development, your journey towards authenticity. So they're saying that, you know, this card usually appears when someone has put a lot of effort into something and is feeling exhausted and ready to just quit. So maybe you're in a situation where you've just had to hang in there so long and you're ready to give in the towel. So this card is coming out to tell you, you know, don't quit, persevere, keep going. Like you've done a lot. You've lit this fire. It's really strong. It's keeping you warm. You're not going to be in this situation forever. And you're working hard, and there's a lot of beauty. Like there's spring, or, you know, and this abundance here. And so they're saying, you know, don't be so stressed out right now. You know, persevere. You know, the bird is a symbol of concentration. And, you know, they're saying that you're very productive right now, and maybe you're thinking of starting a business, and they're saying, like, this is the way forward. This is an omen saying to have endurance. You might be really tired, but, like, getting ready to start a new path. And that can be hard when you're tired and worn out by life and by the journey, but it's also time for a new start. It can be hard to get that energy to move forward, but they're saying just persevere. Hard work will pay off. You know, focus on your labors, because what you put out, you get back. If you haven't gotten back yet, don't worry about that. Just continue to work. Continue to put out, you know. Sometimes you just have to stick with it and have endurance for a while. So they're saying continue to nurture your project or this plan you have in your head, because there will be goals achieved. And so continue to nurture this long-term project. I hope that message helps you out. Okay. What's next? The third card. Rebirth and nature. Oh my gosh, this card is so cool. I haven't seen this one yet. Oh, and it has a bear in it. Oh my gosh. Whoa, I'm like, what does this mean? I know, just give me like a year with this deck and I'm gonna be just channeling it so hard. I know it. But I'm gonna read this to you guys. We all know what the rebirth card means. It talks about a time of transition in your life, a time where you've recently released a lot. Perhaps you've been through a time in your life that really challenged you to grow and evolve. And so now you're on the other side and you're starting to reap the rewards, and there's like this rush of positive energy. You're being pushed to take action. You're taking leaps of faith. Perhaps you just took a risk or a leap of faith and you're kind of, still flowing in that direction. So it's a really positive sign. It's a really positive omen, and it's a whole new beginning in your life. And this nature card says that, choices are the highlight of this card. So the warning is that your short-term goals, that require personal sacrifice are not always in your best interests. Sometimes you can get stuck here, attending to this little thing instead of realizing all this magic that is right around you. So life is a journey, life is a magical journey. I truly believe that. And this is an abundant, limitless universe that we're in, even though appearances might seem otherwise. And you're here on this earth and you have this power, you're a human being, you have this energy, you have this power. And, skills and wisdom and certain tools and knowledge and, natural talents and resources. So you really can create whatever you want to while you're here. Yes, while you're here, you also have to attend to your physical needs. You want to make sure you have somewhere safe to live and, that you've got food on your table and, some nice clothes and you're comfortable and secure. But sometimes you can lose yourself in that journey. And instead of trusting in your path and taking risk and walking more in alignment with the magic of your soul, chasing your bliss and chasing your dreams and your visions, catching them, instead of just attending to the mundane details in your life. It's all about balance, because if you lose yourself here in the dreams and the visions, you can lose touch with reality and lose track of, the important things you need to do in your life, like taking good care of yourself, paying your bills, being a responsible, decent person, So it's about balance here. And so they're saying that you have to accept or release your restrictions, follow your natural inclinations. There's some potential within you that is obstructed by your tendency to just obsess over these little details as your strategy to go through life. It's like you've been stuck in Groundhog Day. It's like you've been having the same day over and over again. Or, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, of Groundhog Day syndrome type of thing, where you wake up and you're in this routine. And what's needed here is to bust out of it, is to, remember the magic of life. Remember that you can create anything you want here. What is it you want to create? What newness do you wish to see in your life? What changes does your heart, ache for? Perhaps you're afraid of change. Perhaps you're afraid of moving forward because with change, you have to let go of things. And fear of loss, fear of separation, the fear of failure, or of just, having to trust and be in an uncertain situation. Those are all things that can happen sometimes when you have change in your life. But don't let those things hold you back from, all this beauty and harmony and joy and bliss and magic that you can have around you. You can have a better life for yourself. And that's what this rebirth has been all about for you, is creating a better life, creating something that's more in harmony with your vision. I talk a lot about that here on this channel. So the black bear here represents endurance, introspection, and decisions. This is what's ruling your life at this time. So you are doing a really great job at having endurance. But of course there has been a bit of indecision here. So they're saying, continue to have introspection, continue to, attend to your routine, but be aware. Start to be aware of this cycle. Start to be aware that there's something bigger being called of you now on this journey, now that you've had this rebirth. And it might not be too much work after all to get to where it is that you desire. But first you have to admit to yourself that you have these desires. Sometimes you can lie to yourself and tell yourself like that you're happy and that you're fine and that you don't need anything and that whatever, like that's very like ego-based thinking. And I feel like at all times in your life we're always being called to grow, being called to try new things, being called to just go to the next vibe when it comes to harmony and peace. Whether it's like an actual 3D step you have to take or just an attitude you need to develop within yourself. So change is here. This is all about change, this reading for you. There's big changes. So whatever your question was, the answer is, you know, change is being called of you in order to manifest whatever it is you're trying to manifest at this time. So they're saying, allow the natural course of this situation to flow. Embrace your freedom. Choose what appeals to you. You know, you are free. Don't chain yourself anymore to this, you know, this way of life that you've been living. You know, you are free to do whatever it is that, you know, really makes your heart and your soul just feel alive. And that's what you need to follow here. Hope that helps you guys. If you chose the 4th stack, responsibility. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is like such a thing here. Yeah, career. This is the harvest moon today. There's so much highlight on our career right now and on responsibility. This is talking about how you've been carrying this burden of providing. Perhaps it's you who's like the sole provider for your family, or you're trying to provide for yourself, or maybe you're trying to build your lot and your wealth in life, or you're desiring like this community, perhaps, or some type of status in your career, some type of achievement, success that you're after. And so it's talking about just this uphill climb where there's times in the journey where all you can do is just put the work in and take step by step. I don't know if you guys follow Gary Vee. I love him. I mention him sometimes on this channel. He really inspires me to just hustle and move forward and continue to take steps every day towards, you know, my vision and my dreams. And that's what this card is talking about, like this hustle that you've been in, and it's admirable. You might be a lot closer than you think. I'm going to look up this card in the guidebook because I'm still learning this deck, but, you know, this guy's carrying this sword, and it's like, to me, it's saying, like, you're going to conquer your goals this season. Like, this is going to be a crucial, crucial season for you. Okay. Almost have it. Alright. Here it is. I'm like, page. Night. So, yep, swift action, aggressive energy, self-assured, sudden changes, boldness, courage, skill, career activity, heroic action. So it's like you are owning it this season. So this is a card of swift action, especially once one's mind is made up. There is determination and an aggressive approach to getting something done. So spur of the moment enthusiasm and excitement of embarking on a new objective. There's a bit of impulsiveness here, but this is talking about how you've made these decisions from just like a smart place in your mind. You're feeling eager and courageous. They're saying sudden changes are possible. So you might think that it's going to take you forever to get here, but they're saying that things are changing. Maybe it's no longer step by step for you. Maybe now you're being called to take a huge leap of faith, or perhaps you're going to be forced to leap, whether you want to or not. So there's something changing here when it comes to, you know, these goals you've set in your life. They're saying you're competent, you know, you're able to take charge. And so maybe you're worried about whether or not this is a good season for you to take action. But they're saying, don't just watch from the side of the track here. Like, get on board and do this yourself. Don't just watch everyone else during this season, you know, owning it and slaying their goals. It's like, this is a season for you. This is your time. You might not realize that, but if you pick this card, this is your time. So, swift action here. And I'm feeling the need to pull a clarifier from my Doreen Virtue Goddess Guidance deck. Balancing. If you pick this card, you might just be like, how am I going to accomplish this and get here? I'm supposed to take action? Like, what am I supposed to do exactly? Why does this feel so vague? Well, a message is coming through that you need to create an altar or visit a power place to connect with the divine. Maybe you need to throw down some tarot cards and consult your own inner guidance. Maybe you need to lay down and do a meditation and take some deep breaths and get in alignment. Go out into nature, do some journaling maybe, ask yourself some questions. But it seems like for you, in order to move forward right now, you need to take swift, bold action. Instead of just the steady progress, little by little, little by little. Because you're going to get there either way, but they're saying there's a faster way for you. There's like a shortcut here, and you can find that by laying down for your meditation. Check out 5-minute or 10-minute shamanic journeys here on YouTube. They can be pretty wild, you know. If you're not like a huge meditator, I usually recommend 20 to 30 minutes. That's how long it takes me to like chill out and really get on that vibe to receive some information. But maybe just 5 or 10 minutes if you're not an avid meditator is all it needs. Maybe you'll find something out about yourself. So I hope that helps you guys. As always, leave comments and like and subscribe. Everything you guys have been telling me about these messages and these pick-a-card readings has inspired me to do more. Every comment I get that tells me this is helping you guys helps boost my confidence and self-esteem to want to do more readings. So I want to thank you guys for that. Peace out.